You guys hear me? All right. Welcome to the Saturday morning live stream here on Garden Like a Viking in northern Indiana, zone 5B 6A. And it is a brand new year, my friends, and the seed starting time is on its way. So do not despair. Even though it is the depths of winter, it's actually a very mild winter this year. I don't know what it's like where you are, but here it has been like this, just cloudy and about 40 degrees all winter. Besides that 2-week real cold spell that we had. When during that cold spell, man, my heating bill this month, just from that cold spell, was $216 for last month, because this is a 100-year-old house, and when the wind blows, it's like an old wooden pirate ship, and everything, the windows rattle because they're just sitting in the slots, and the doors and everything rattles. Yeah, so it's not very airtight, that's for sure. So hope we don't have any more. Well, actually, I don't care. I don't care if we have real cold weather anymore, because I got the sauna now, the wood-fired sauna, which is game-changing the whole experience of winter here. I mean, really. Every day I'm in that sauna, just getting a good sweat. It's 220 degrees in there, and very, very humid when I pour the water on the rocks and stuff. And it's a wood-fired, it's just a sauna tent. It's not like a big, expensive, elaborate sauna. You know, I'm not like that. But the sauna tent, it's working good. And then I'll get right out of there and go into the ice bath. Ooh, it's been fantastic. And just boom, go back and forth and back and forth. And it's been phenomenal what it's done. I don't even notice that it's wintertime, hardly. I mean, usually it's winter. It's like, oh, it's so cold and there's nothing to do outside and all that. Not this year. Garth says, good morning from zone 4. Very mild, mostly around 20 to 35. Yeah, exactly. Here too. Very, very mild. Let's see. Oh, Kaylang says, Nate looked great in his Viking beanie hat. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. It is a sauna hat, actually. And it's, even though the Vikings never wore horned helmets, that's a myth created by Hollywood and stuff. But this kind of screams Viking. So yeah, I was going to wear it, but it's a little bit ridiculous. I do wear it in the sauna though, because it gets so hot that you have to insulate your head, because the head would get super hot much faster than the rest of the body does, so you'd have to get out. But as it is, I can stay in there a good long time. So good morning, Tirza. Nick the gardener, hello my friend, mild and wet in England. New hat is cool. Yeah, I just couldn't take myself serious if I was wearing it, you know? But in the sauna, definitely. But if you guys want me to put it on, I will. Let's see. Oh man, I thought you were keeping the hat on. Let's see. 0 to 100 with Nick. Can't y'all help me get this question answered in case he doesn't see it? I just want a quick breakdown of the full process so I know what videos to watch. Like start with JMS, then step by step. Well, that's kind of an enormous question, my friend. You just want a quick breakdown of the whole process that's taken me a lifetime to learn? Well, it's a little bit more deep than that. So, but okay, if you are, let's say, for example, if you are, so what are you starting fresh ground? Are you starting from beds? Are you taking over a plot of land that has been toxified with industrial ag chemicals? Has the person been organic minded, or have they been using Miracle Grow and all this other toxic stuff for the land? You know, what are you starting with, and what is your goal? I mean, there's so many questions. These are the kind of things we do on a Zoom meeting garden consultation. You know, if you guys are interested in that, you can email me and we can hook that up. But yes, fresh start. Well, then what you want to do, number one, is get the soil covered. Okay, so get your plot of land and or wherever you're going to have the garden, and you want to immediately have it be covered. So lay down leaves, grass clippings, whatever kind of organic matter that you can have, manure. You got to build the habitat. First and foremost, you got to have a hospitable environment for the microorganisms. Once you have that, then we will inoculate it with the microorganism solution, which is the JMS. So we will make that, and I'm going to make a video real soon on the best way to make it during the wintertime. even in cold temperatures, because you can't, below 65, it's not really happening that well, okay? So then you would use the JMS, inoculate that 5 times, full strength on the plot, 5 times. And see, the mulch and all that stuff that you put on it is going to help to keep everything nice and alive. It's going to give a environment for the microorganisms to proliferate. And then you would want to add some of the fertilizer, some food for the microbes. The fish fertilizer is really, that's the best fertilizer in my opinion and my experience, okay? So, yeah. And then it goes on and on. There's so many things. I mean, there's so many things. But yeah, 0 to 100. Okay, yeah, you can email me at gardenlikeaviking@gmail.com, and we can set up a consultation. That way I can see, you can tell me exactly what your goals are and exactly what your environment and your experience level. There's so many factors that come into play. Oh, Miss Casey, I'm on day 7 of the cleanse, master cleanse she's talking about. It's going well, and I'm committed to ending it correctly. That is fantastic. I am very happy to hear that. Doing the master cleanse is equivalent in many ways to like climbing a mountain. It is something that is a huge accomplishment. Okay, it's 10 days. Although it's not a fast, it's a cleanse where the only thing you're consuming is the mixture. And yeah, it's very trying on a lot of people, but the strength of character and the way you get to explore yourself and your psyche and your body is just fantastic, man. So good job. Keep it up. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's see. Nick says, "Hi, Nate. I sowed my first biodynamic onions on January 2nd. Some are not germinating today. I sowed on a root day." Okay. That is, let's see, Nick the gardener, well, I know you're in England, right? Of course. So I don't really know when you're planting those. You guys have such mild, nice growing weather anyways. So, let's see. Steve says maple syrup equals food. Yes, absolutely. It is, that's why it's not a fast, it's a cleanse. And let's see. I told my students I haven't eaten any food at all this year. Right, which is true. I mean, yes, maple syrup is food, but it's not necessarily. The body still goes into autophagy, which is self-cleaning mode, because there's nothing to digest. There's 0 fiber, and that's what's important. The maple syrup goes straight into the bloodstream. I mean, it's really, the body knows exactly how to use that stuff. It's to fuel the brain. So if you say you haven't eaten food in the whole time you're on the cleanse, that's perfectly legitimate to say. Pam, hello, Nate. I love your Viking helmet. It's 7. I want to get like a real Viking helmet. Well, even though the Vikings never wore horns, but some kind of real, actual, so I can prepare for battle. It's 7 p.m. in South Africa. Just finished in the garden, and I got notice that you are chatting with the rest of the gang. That's right, my friend. So good that you're here. Jerry says, hello, my friend. Greetings from Bates Family Farm. Congrats on the 40,000 subs. Thank you. I prefer polled cattle, but you can wear horns all you want. Fourth. Oh, wait. Let's see. What is everyone doing? 4th day on post-holiday cleanse. You're doing another cleanse? Man, why does it keep going up? Hope your cellar survived the water. Yeah, thank you. For one, that's cool that you are doing a cleanse. See, Jerry just experienced the benefits of the master cleanse earlier this year, and I think that his body is like, yes, we love this. We want more of this. And so here he is doing it again, which is fantastic because for sure there's plenty of more things to detoxify from. And the basement. Yes, the basement, last week when I was talking to you guys, it was actively flooding, because it rained for like 2 days straight, and it was actively flooding. I mean, it ended up so that I had like 4 or 5 inches of water. I mean, and I got down there and I was sloshing around and I was like, oh no. Suddenly I thought, where's all the power cords and stuff like that? I was thinking, and I'm already like ankle deep in the water. But fortunately nothing happened. I unplugged everything and the rain stopped, and then the water stopped. And so I was like, okay, something is something has happened. So I went on the side of the house, and in these old houses, they have the gutters that come down into like a clay tile, and then it goes into the storm drain or something. But something after all these years finally burst. And so the gutters were pumping water directly into the basement. Directly into the basement. So I rerouted that away from the house. And then it rained again, and haven't had any issues, even though me and my dad did put in the pump just to be on the safe side. Yeah. That guy, Chris, yeah, trip your breaker before entering water and unplugging stuff. Yeah, now I know. And that's a wonderful idea. So before you do that, even though I would have to wade through the water to get to my breaker, still, that's definitely what I wanted to do. Because I was down there, and then all of a sudden, I was like, oh no. And then I was looking around just thinking, what do? I'm already in the water, but wasn't meant to be. Let's see. Thoughts on apple cider vinegar detox before breakfast. Apple cider vinegar is a wonderful thing to take. Yes. It does all kinds of good cleansing things for the body, especially if you make it yourself, or it's the kind with the mother. Make it yourself is the best. But so long as it has the mother, it's not lactic acid bacteria like in the labs, which we can also take. It is acetic acid bacteria, a different kind. And so it's very good for us to take this, especially if you mix with a little bit of lemon and some maple syrup or a pinch of sea salt, something like that. It's very cleansing for the body. And it still doesn't even hold a candle toward the master cleanse, though. I can tell you that for sure. Breaker in the water area equals catch-22. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Hope you got the flood sorted. Yeah, it's sorted now. But then, of course, my dad was here, and so we put in a real sub pump. There was no pump. It was just a water-absorbing hole, which that's not cool. So let's see. Alicia says, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Show the love for all this wonderful information. Yes, thumbs up, my friends. Please do that. And because we need the channel to grow and reach a lot of people. Okay. And man, so we got a couple of other things to talk about today, because the atmosphere of YouTube is changing a little bit in the sense that, man, they are really pushing these shorts. You know what shorts are? Because, well, for one, they're officially trying to compete with TikTok, and so they want to do short form content, and the shorts are less than a minute. And so they're really, really favoring people and channels that are making shorts. And once I came into this understanding, I started looking at some of the people that I've followed for some time, and they have gained hundreds of thousands of subscribers in the past 4, 5, 6 months, but because they stopped making videos altogether and all they're doing is making shorts now, and they just blew up. So it's like, oh man, it's just kind of disheartening, a little bit. But then I got to thinking, the type of people that the shorts attract, that's not really the kind of people I'm going for anyway. That's not my kind of people, like the TikTok people and stuff that just want a little and then on to the next one, on to the next one. That's not the kind of audience I'm even after, to be honest. And so it's and then I spent some time studying like the demographics and all of that, and the demographics is 18 to 25 is those people, that are for the shorts and all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna make some, definitely on my other channel, Nate Murray, and definitely on the Saga channel. I'm gonna make those, make some shorts to try, because you gotta change and adjust with the atmosphere. But I'm still you can't learn anything in 58 seconds, and they want you to do. YouTube's pushing it. They send me emails all the time, like, hey, so explore shorts, open up, unlock possibilities with all these shorts. They want you to do shorts, but I'm just like, man, I don't want to participate in the fracturing of the collective attention span. You know what I mean? Because they say, oh, it's to compete with TikTok, but I think it's a bit bigger than that. But anyways, Tirza, Nate, shorts are for the short of attention. You want Vikings. Your videos are awesome and concise and will have more longevity than this shallow fad. Thank you very much, my friend. That's exactly how I feel too. Yes, I don't want the people that have the fractured attention spans that can only focus on one little thing for 59 seconds is pushing it, and then, oh, okay, next thing. And you just can't get, you got to understand the why. You know, when you're trying to learn something, I feel like my videos are already short for trying to explain in-depth topics. You know, so there's like a balance between brevity and conciseness and completeness, meaning, okay, I walked away from this video feeling like I learned something, I gained something, you know, and so that's what's most important to me. And so that's what it is. Steve says, did you get that sauna you were talking about? Absolutely, my friend. Yep, you must have missed it in the beginning, but yeah, I got the wood-fired sauna tent, and I'm in it every day. It's been fantastic. Wood-fired sauna for about 25 minutes till I was about to pass out, just pouring with sweat, and then go right into the ice bath, which is right outside, and then do that for about between 2 and 5 minutes, and that's really been good. And then go back into the sauna, another 25, back into the ice bath. It's amazing. And I don't even, it's like I said, I don't even notice it's that wintertime anymore. Running Wild says, what kind of Jadam would you inoculate biochar with? Beyond any doubt, the Jadam microbial solution. You want that. The Jadam microbial solution, but then you also want to add a food for the microbes. So add the fish fertilizer. So the Jadam microbial solution and the fish fertilizer combine, soak the biochar in that for at least 24 hours. Fantastic. If you have any of the other fertilizers as well, any of your JLFs, add those as well. But primary is the JMS, the microbial solution. Let's see, Double A. Hello, my friend. Ms. P says, I'm hardly ever on Instagram anymore because they are pushing reels. Can't study the pictures anymore. Oh yeah, Instagram as well. And Facebook as well. They're all trying to push the TikTok thing. And so, I mean, even though I still don't understand Instagram really, I'm trying though, because you got to have a social media. If you're going to be professional social media, which is, I guess, what I'm doing now, then you have to have a media presence across like all the platforms. So if you guys haven't already, or follow or whatever the Garden Like a Viking Instagram, I put stuff there, you know, little stuff that I don't put on the channel and things. So let's see here. So yeah, it's and then the reels as well, you know, all of that. But it's all the push because people that can't, the people that focus on the reels and the TikTok and the shorts and all of that, it even if you aren't initially like of a fractured mind, then you will become, because it structures the mind so that you can't focus on one thing for a long amount of time, so that you can't process thoughts to their logical conclusion. You just have to and then on to the next thing, and then the next thing. So that's not good for the mind, because you want to be able to focus on things for an extended period of time. When I was traveling in India, listen, when I was traveling in India and all of the developing world, Southeast Asia and all of this, I would stay, like, for example, many different times I would stay with like villages. And in Morocco, for example, 3 months, I stayed with this fishing village, and the kids there, because they've never been exposed to, there was no television there was no video, there was none of that. Only one little place had a little electrical cable going into it. And the kids there, that when you talk to them, they're so much more present. They're just so much more grounded in the sense that they can sit with you for all day and focus on one thing. Focus on what we're doing. They're not fidgeting around doing all kinds of stuff. They're just really like something you would see on National Geographic, something that is now becoming foreign to us, you know, because of all this kind of. So I appreciate the long form content, which my videos are not even long form anyways. So yeah, it's a little bit disheartening when I see these other channels just exploding, you know, with subscribers, because they've stopped making videos altogether and they're just doing shorts. It's like, but what? Oh well. Let's see. Bahia Vibe says, it's really hard in Cali to put beds to sleep. I found things are still growing. Yes, so for you, then you would want to, what are you, northern or southern? Cali. and you would want to do cover crops. So to put the garden for bed, you want to do cover crops, and that's what you really want. Ooh, yeah, man, it's delicious. You want to do a cover crop of some kind, and depending on what, if you're in the north or the south, would depend on what kind of cover crop you want. But for you, if you have a year-round growing season, or it just gets a little bit below freezing and stuff, then you're not going to put the gardens to bed like we do here. Here, nothing's growing. You know, the winter rye will survive, but it's not like growing. It's just surviving. You know, so for the most part, I switch between 1 year is cover crops and 1 year is fertility adding. And this past year was fertility adding, or this current year is fertility adding. So I got tons of leaves, chicken manure, horse manure, all the good stuff, sprinkling ash all over it, the Jadam microbial solution. So let's see. And thank you for the knowledge you drop. You are very welcome, Tyson. Taida says, Happy New Year, friends. Happy New Year to you as well. Let's see. Anyone watch the Back to Eden documentary? Yes, of course. I've seen the Back to Eden documentary. Yes. And what do you want to know? Let's see here. To be competent on all social media, you got to have the attention span of a fruit fly. YouTube is as social as I get. Yeah, and I know. That's really what it boils down to. And because I don't have a television in the house, and I don't even watch movies anymore. I just select YouTube stuff. But most of the time, I'm working on things, you know. But then when I go to like my parents' house or some place that has the TV on, it feels aggressive. It just feels like I'm being assaulted with images, and cut to this different scene, and then cut to that, and then the guys are screaming in your face. And then it's like my head is spinning, you know, and I've become really sensitive to that after being without it for so long. You know, having some people just do stuff with the television on in the background, and I can't do that because my whole attention is being drawn in by the television. Someone's trying to talk to me when the television is on, and I'm just like, you know, one or the other. I don't shut the TV off. Let's be real humans, you know. Sorry, Mom, I'm not talking about you exactly. Let's see. Tirza says, is it possible to post some of your Instagram stuff on Facebook? Would not even be on it except need for Facebook Marketplace and for contacting folks overseas. Hate tech, has side effects. Yeah, so this is kind of what I expected from you guys, like my inner circle, the core group. I expected you guys are not going to be all about, you know, different TikToks and all that kind of stuff because, well, we're just like a more natural kind of person. And so, yeah, that's what but I just linked up my Garden Like a Viking Instagram account with the Garden Like a Viking Facebook page, which took forever. It was unbelievable how much someone like me has to research and find just how to do that. Because it wasn't working, and then all of this. And so, yeah, so everything that I post on, because I'm just going to post like reels and pictures and stuff on Instagram, and everything I post there is going to go to the Facebook page as well. So follow one of them too if you want. Alicia says, my apartment is angled, so we don't get sun on the patio, maybe 4 hours worth of sun. What do you think I could grow besides greens? Well, okay, if you grow it for the roots or the fruits, you need to have pretty much full sun. If you grow it for the leaves or the shoots, then that's going to work. Maybe 4 hours will work. You could grow a number of things. You could grow cabbage. I mean, what are you calling greens? That's pretty much it, you know, everything. But you can't grow like, I mean, you could try to grow potatoes and stuff like that. It's not going to work all that well. You can try and grow some sweet potatoes. You'll get small sweet potatoes, yeah. But you could try to grow anything that's going to produce, yeah, carrots. Carrots would work. Unpopular Truth says carrots. Yeah, carrots would definitely work. So I had an experimental garden here this year that I didn't get to do much content about, but I used just the bags, okay? Like the potato grow bag method, just the contractor bags, rolled them down and placed them directly up against a north-south 7-foot tall privacy fence. And so they received exactly half of the day, but not even that because the house blocked a lot of it. So they received definitely partial sun, and just a few hours of direct sun. The rest was ambient, indirect. And so I grew beets there, which grew fantastic. They grew fantastic there. I grew carrots. I grew celery. I grew collard greens. I grew Swiss chard. I grew some cabbages, some Gloria Weinkusen. That's a good, quick maturing variety. And also, see, I tried to grow some onions there. They didn't like it. And then I grew a couple of other things. I forget exactly, but those all worked really well as far as growing in the partial sun. So that's something that I could definitely recommend. Happy Saturday, Nathaniel. Oh, you remembered my real name. I hope everyone is doing well here in the chat too. Yes, thank you very much. Let's see. Is there a KNF or Jadam method for silica? Well, silica, are you talking about for an indoor grow of some kind, I assume? But if you mean for like outdoors, then silica is actually, I think, one of the most abundant compounds in the Earth's crust. And so there's absolutely plenty of silica so long as the microbiology is correct. That's what everything boils down to, is that you want the microbiology to do the work, okay? Yes, see, that's what I thought you were talking about, Tyson. So let's see here. I'm trying to think of something that would... Well, it depends on many factors. That's a deep question. I would have to see the setup and know your nutrient regimen and all of that kind of stuff. Definitely you can custom tailor stuff, but it's not going to be like, because when you're doing indoor, even if it's soil, you got to make sure that you got enough either soil food web that is going to be able to digest everything, or you have to use chelates. You have to use the chemicals that are already in the digestible form so that the soil doesn't go rancid. Living soil is a different thing. So let's see. And you guys are talking about some community food trip. Ms. P says, my asparagus is perfectly happy against the east side of the house with morning sun. Okay, so you guys, asparagus can work with that as well. Now, I have never been in one place long enough to facilitate the desire or the need to grow asparagus. Although I've been a part of, established asparagus patches, and it's wonderful because it just keeps coming back. But but it takes so long to establish. It just takes so long to establish. Tushi, I had to move into edible landscaping in the front yard to get more growing area because much of my backyard is shaded. Neighbors don't even recognize that it's food. Yeah, which isn't that ridiculous that we have to disguise the fact that we're doing like the most naturally human thing of all, and that's to grow our own food? Isn't it just absurd that we have to okay, they think that they're meaningless, pointless, silly little shrubs and bushes like everyone else is planting. And so then they're not going to have a problem with it. Instead of, no, you should set up a beanpole teepee right there and grow beans or grow, It's absurd that any of us are growing anything other than food, really. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions. Don't take offense to that. But really, we are, and I've traveled all over the world, guys, and pretty much we are the only people that have the lawn, where a huge space, or a space of any size, that is dedicated just to grass that we dump chemicals on and we constantly manicure and mow and all of that. And all of the other countries, if there's open land, they are growing food. They're growing something, or they've got some sheep or something like this, that they're not just maintaining this waste of space and dumping chemicals on it and stuff. It just really doesn't make any sense at all. Pam says, I don't do Facebook, only YouTube, but I have learned so much more from you about soil improvement, seeing the difference in the garden, but still to make all of your soil amendments. Okay, well, then you've got plenty of things ahead of you, because we're going to be making a lot more stuff this upcoming year as well. So you can be prepared for that. Man, guys, this tea is divine. Okay, it is chamomile. I grow chamomile, and I've got a number of these. I grow a lot of it, and it is. If you guys have never grown fresh chamomile, it is the smell. It's like what I imagine heaven would smell like. Basically, Valhalla would smell like this, and of course, the blood of my enemies. But no, this smells just wonderful. It is so like fruity and floral, and to make a tea out of a teaspoon of this stuff, it just smells like wild mountain flowers. Like the middle of summer after a fresh rain, and everything is just growing, and you can hear the birds, and the bees are flying all over the place, and you see butterflies. That's exactly what this is like. Okay? That's exactly, it's that kind of scent. And then I combine it with the lavender, and which of course I grow as well. So we take some of the lavender and I just forgot the name. What am I drawing a blank? Chamomile. Yeah. And let's see here. I watched the fish fertilizer video. How bad does it smell? Okay. So I've been getting a lot of questions about that, and it smells like you would expect it to. So, but that's only when you open, that's only when you open it. If you make an airlock, like I showed in the video, and I can do maybe I'll do a short on how to make that airlock. But if you do the airlock, I brewed it for the first whole year in the basement, and I never smelled any of it. You just replace the water occasionally, and if you have to, put a few drops of essential oil into the water. That's the airlock, and that will help to take care of everything. And even one time I put bleach in the water, and I just never smelled anything. So, but now when you open that, it's gonna reek. It's gonna reek, okay, for the first like year or maybe even longer. But then after that, it does come to a point where it doesn't smell. It just smells like tomato juice. That's the only thing that I can like equate it to, is like something, V8. But let's see, like you dropped an entire bottle of fish sauce that has rotten fish in it. Oh yeah, definitely. That's Charles says you can use diatomaceous earth as a silica amendment. Yes, you can. But even that, plants are not going to absorb directly. So it all boils down to the microbiology. But I know, so if you're doing an indoor grow though, it's often best to use pre-made things. It just is, because you're opening yourself, unless you're doing living soil, which is a whole different ball game, which is a lot more of a complete thing, but it takes more time, and you're not going to get the fast, incredible results. It's different. So my neighbors seem to enjoy seeing me transform my side yard into a garden. That's very good, Jeremy. I'm glad. So there's some, so maybe they can do the same too. So Dennis says, or Denise says, hey, asking highly informed group, I need help getting an antiviral home remedy recipe. Persistent, productive cough. Big pharma, not the answer. Already taken 3 cloves of garlic twice a day. Okay, guys, I know you've got some answers to that. So Dennis is saying, I think that's Denise. Is that right? That's my mom's name. I should know that. I need help. So he says, I need help getting an antiviral home remedy recipe. Persistent, productive cough. Big pharma, not the answer. Already taken 3 cloves of garlic twice a day. So, of course, I've got some answers, but what else would you guys recommend to them? So I'll give you guys some time to type that up. Ms. P, $5. Thank you very much, my friend. Growing slowly with a dedicated following is better than being the flavor of the day. Thank you. That's exactly the way I feel, too. And because when I look at them people's video and stuff, it's like you can't possibly have the same quality that we have here. There's just no way. And expanding like that and getting the people that are all want the 1 minute video, so they can go on to the next one and on to the next one, and forget all that. So let's see here. Matt says Valhalla Skål, brother. Yes. My neighbor said that they couldn't afford a gardening, but they afford a lawn care service person to come cut the grass. Yeah, exactly. See, but most people's priorities and their when you're born into this culture, you just don't know any other way. It's, that's the sign that you've got your stuff together, that you're doing well, is that you've got a good manicured lawn that's deep green and that no weeds, no dandelions, nothing that would be any kind of food for any pollinator, no way. So that's reflects really good on me. See how well kept and together I am and everything, because my lawn is a toxic waste dump. See, but then those of us that know the truth, we will then drive by, and I feel bad for them people. I look at their lawn, perfectly cut green, deep, luscious, unnatural green, not a speck of anything else, looks like carpet. And I think, man, what a fool. What a fool. He just doesn't know. And little does he know that he's just ruining the earth for those that come after us. So our great-grandchildren, you can go ahead and thank people like that. Because he wants to have a lawn that is, looks like a golf course and looks like carpet, because look at how good I am. I know. You can tell that have a little bit of contempt for that kind of thing. But it just, once you see, you can't unsee it. And it just doesn't make any sense. And so, like, all the energy that you spend doing all of that, grow some food, offset your food cost, or at the very least, grow food for the pollinators. Grow a bunch of flowers, man. I mean, who doesn't like to see flowers? Marigolds and zinnias and Mexican sunflowers and just mint that has gone to seed and just all the different kind of stuff. Who in their right mind would think that all manicured, just dark green monocut lawn is better than all these flowers? And then you would see all the activity. You would see, man, during the summertime in places where I'm involved and we have all kinds of pollinator things, I would just sit there and I would look, and it just all kinds of activity. I mean, bursting with life. The fennel plant that I have out front is like I've never seen anything like it. When the fennel plant comes, and it's huge, it gets huge every year. And then when it comes into bloom, it is just like, I can just sit there and watch. It's like a super highway of pollinators. And it's just great. And then right on the other side of me is butterflies coming all over the place, and then big fat bumblebees to the zinnias and to the marigolds. So anyways, let's see. We have so many snakes, we have to mow around the house. Well, yes, of course. And there's certain times where mowing is, if you live in the wild, if you live like on land and you've got the farm kind of thing or homestead or something like that, yes, absolutely. There's a place for mowing. Don't get me wrong. The wild can't grow right up to the house and suffocate the house and destroy everything. You have to have your area. But that's not, I'm talking about the people in additions and the suburbs and the neighborhoods and stuff like that could definitely have a whole different operation going on. Jamie says, I moved to Southern California. First time I saw a turf lawn, I died inside. Yeah, I know what you mean. It is the saddest thing. I'm just, and even the turf lawn is just like 5 by 5. It's like a little dog pad. Frank says, modern culture has made us completely dependent on industrial food and meds. Sad. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely dependent. Most people have no idea where their food comes from. Most people have no idea what meat actually is, or how potatoes grow, or that they grow at all. Food comes from the store, and really they're not even buying like whole food. They're buying boxes of stuff. Food comes out of the box and it stays on the shelf for however long, boxes of macaroni and cheese and all this just stuff. Man, it's deep. It's deep. And we are really in a pickle here as far as civilization goes. The Western civilization, what we've done and where we've been guided to. It's going to be very interesting to see how we bring ourselves out of this, because of course we will. That's what the superpower of the human being is: adaptation. That's what we do. We adapt to the circumstance and we survive. So, but there comes a point when you want to thrive, not just survive. You want to really thrive, and we have all the tools to do that now. I will never have a lawn in my garden. Yes, thank you, Ken. Let's see. I have such bad deer problem. There's nothing left. Oh man, really? Boy, I'd be getting me some meat as well then, for sure. Definitely. Let's see here. And let's see. Oregano oil, mullein, black seed oil. Thank you, everybody. Doctors aren't welcome in my health regimen. Okay, so some people have said, oh, okay, Tushi says, Dennis, gargle with salt, follow with a cocktail of warm honey, lemon, and bourbon, but set a date, 2 weeks, and if it persists, consider a check up from an MD just to make sure it's not something. Let's see here. And so sad to see lawns are required by many homeowners associated and other mindless meddlers. Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let's see here. We will be eating vegetables when there is no food in the grocery stores, and they will be eating grass off their lawns like cows. Haha, yeah. Except it would be all poisoned, and most people just have no idea how to do any of this. There's 16 to 20 deer at a time in my yard at any given time. The neighbors feed them corn too. Oh man, okay. So yeah, well, then you got to build a fence. You're going to have to build a deer fence. And often that can entail 2 layers because they can jump 8 feet, these deer, if they see succulent, delicious foods inside. But you can do 2 rows if you got the finances, or you can make it come out, you can have it 8 feet and then come out, or you can just make it really tall. There's all different kinds of things that you can do. Ooh, $10. Thank you, Scott. Number 1 fan, huh? Thank you very much for the tip, my friends. Andrew says, looking to start some sprouting. Yes, definitely begin the sprouting. And the mung bean video is in the works. But go ahead and start with alfalfa. That's probably primary number 1. But what I'm doing right now, I'm sprouting. Look at all this wheat grass. Well, these are just wheat berries, hard red winter wheat berries. And the same kind that I would use for planting, for cover crops if I wanted to. But I'm sprouting them because now we can do a number of things from here. We can make rejuvalac with this right about now, or we can, and rejuvalac is a fermented lactic acid bacteria drink that we consume. Let me know if you want to see a video on that. And it's really good for us and really delicious. But this particular one, I'm going to grow into wheatgrass because I want to make a video for you guys to show you how to grow the wheatgrass, because wheatgrass is the number 1 way to get chlorophyll within you. Okay. And what is the number 1 mineral deficiency most people have? What do you think it is? Most people, the number 1 mineral deficiency is magnesium. And taking magnesium supplement doesn't do it because our body never coexisted or co-evolved with, vitamin D. That's a huge one too. And depending on the source, they'll tell you, but we're deficient in all these things. Okay, just believe me. And but the supplements that you take are in a laboratory form, and the body doesn't recognize that as what it's supposed to be, because there is, when you take when you consume a whole food, then there is magnesium, but there's also amounts of calcium and phosphorus and sodium and all of the different, selenium and coppers and all of that. And it's the combination of all of those things together that tells the body how to process what it's consuming. And so we call those things bioavailable, meaning that the body can utilize them really easily because it's natural and it's meant to. That's what we're meant to eat. But when we take a supplement, and I don't care how good the supplement is, I'm sorry, supplement companies, but I don't care what your marketing is saying. It can never compare to a real whole food source of something. So people will take a magnesium supplement and think they're good, and then they can just keep eating depleted garbage, the rest of the time, or insufficient variety of things. But that's not the case. So where I'm going with this is that magnesium is the central molecule of the chlorophyll, or is the central element in the chlorophyll molecule, okay? So when we consume chlorophyll, we are consuming the most bioavailable form of magnesium. And so what is the number 1 way to get chlorophyll into the body? Wheatgrass juice. It is unbelievably powerful and rich. And you will see, if you don't have experience yet with wheatgrass, in the next week or two, the video will be coming out because I'm doing it all now. And you will see. Then when you juice it, and it is captured sunlight, it is the power of the sun. And you take that and it just, whoa. I mean, you feel an actual buzz in a way off of the wheatgrass. It's way more potent than any of the other juices. So you can look forward to that. And that's ideal for midwinter sort of blues, you know, the midwinter blues that a lot of people get. It's ideal to be drinking liquid sunshine, which is essentially what that is. So you guys will see it, okay? And yeah, Dennis, or Denise, yes, that is, you want to take wheatgrass shots as well, okay? As my body is clean, I will stick with natural remedy. Thank you, thank you. Yes, now, I would recommend to you, Dennis or Denise, which one am I saying? I don't know why I keep saying it. It's because my mom's name is Denise and her twin brother is Dennis. But I don't know how they're spelled, the difference. But anyways, you can take essential oils, man. You can definitely take clove oil. You can take oregano oil. I think someone already said that. But you can take thyme oil, or if you go to like doTERRA, they have a blend called On Guard, which is all of the antimicrobial, antiviral oils all together. And if you do Young Living, I think the equivalent is called Thieves oil. And you just take a drop or 2 drops of each, or of the essential oil, and put it into the shot glass and down it and drink it. Gargle with it if you need to and drink it. And that does huge amounts of things, because it takes like a truckload of certain things to make just a bottle of essential oil. I mean, it's crazy how much of the essence goes into the essential oil. So I definitely say that. Graham says, armpits are the best absorbers of anything. Yeah, that's actually relatively true. Under the tongue is really the best, I would say. But armpits are right up there, man. They are one, as far as the external body, armpits are number one place to absorb things. And isn't it convenient that that's where we apply some of the most toxic chemicals known, as far as titanium dioxides and all different kind of stuff in the underarms. Okay, Graham says, read my previous comment. Magnesium chloride dissolved in distilled water with a little lavender oil for scent makes a great deodorant. Okay, very nice. Thank you. So dissolved in distilled water. So magnesium chloride. Where do we get that? I know magnesium sulfate is Epsom salts. Distilled water with a little lavender oil. That's very nice. I do like your Jadam videos. Thank you, JMK. Let's see here. Clove, thyme, On Guard. Yes, that's the one. Those are the ones that you want to take. And but then also think about getting the wheatgrass in you. Stone Creek says, what's the best magnesium, you say? Wheatgrass juice. That's the best form of magnesium. I mean, it's because it's chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the central ion is the magnesium in the chlorophyll molecule. And so you want to be drinking as much chlorophyll as you can. Graham said it's magnesium flakes, not Epsom salt. Okay, I will have to check that out. Okay, Denise, yeah. Okay, good. So that's the same name as my mom. Do you have a greenhouse? And what's best type out there? Man, that's where I found my passions, is greenhouse growing. I had 5 greenhouses right in a row in Northern California. But at the moment, I don't have land. So I do not have greenhouses, no. And even if I did here, it's like a kind of a, greenhouses are season extenders. They are not designed to create a whole new season, meaning to grow during the dead middle of winter. I mean, you can, but they're season extenders, okay? And so it's really best to grow the things that you know you're gonna, about a month on each side of the season is what a greenhouse will give you. Otherwise, you're gonna be heating it, and it's just, now it becomes a real big consumer of energy, unless you got a jalapeno, which still, even that, I mean, you could grow like kale and stuff like that during the wintertime, but it's okay because we eat with the seasons. It's okay to not have the leafy greens during the dead middle of winter. Okay, so our ancestors, of course, would not have the capability to be having leafy greens in the dead of winter. But animals are always available. So if you're into that, you can eat. That's when you eat the meat and the bone broth and the tallow and the stuff like that. But also the root vegetables like the potatoes. They store really well all winter long. The tubers, the sweet potatoes, those store. The winter squash, the Tahitian melon squash, the butternut squash, all of those kind of things that naturally store over the wintertime. That's what we're to be consuming during the wintertime. And then as soon as the springtime comes and it's outdoor season and everything's growing again, then we're consuming fresh leafy greens all summer long as much as we can. And we lay off the meat, we lay off the heavy things like the potatoes and stuff. And we're doing, collard greens, stewed collard greens. We're doing sauteed Swiss chard with garlic and cayenne peppers and stuff. And we're doing different kinds of peppers on the grill. Oh man, corn on the grill, all kinds of good stuff. So that's what they're eating with the seasons. And then, fresh fruit whenever's available. But we still do the wheatgrass. Guys, the wheatgrass is so, wait until, if you haven't experienced it yet, I'm not going to talk it up anymore, but it's coming because right about now is when I start making wheatgrass for the next 2 to 3 months. And we're going to be juicing it every day or every couple days. And you will see it's just phenomenal. It's like almost unbelievable. Tushi question. Can you eat wheatgrass? Do we need special equipment to juice it? Regular juicer doesn't work, right? Well, you need a masticating juicer. You need the type that is not a centrifugal juicer. Like the Jack LaLanne is a centrifugal where you drop it in there and like that. That is centrifugal. That's not going to work for wheatgrass. Yes, you can eat the wheatgrass. You can go old school with it and just chew on it. Chew on it and extract the juices that way. Okay, big wad of it in the mouth, you can chew it like that, extract the juices that way. Or you can, it's best to put it through a juicer. They make hand crank ones even, like $100 for a good one. But also I got like the Omega masticating juicer. That works really well. Also, if you just have a blender, then you can blend it up and then strain it. Pour it over so put it in the blender, blend it up real good with just a little bit of water, and then pour it over through a strainer. And that's going to keep, because it's too fibrous. It's too fibrous that you can eat some of it. Yeah, it's totally fine to eat, but we don't really have the hardware to digest grass like that. We can a little bit, but it's not. It will give you indigestion. So it's the best way to. Denise says, I made a juicer with car jack hydraulic press found on YouTube. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, you can do that. Guys, you can mash it up, blend it, take a big thing of it, mash it up a little bit with like a mortar and pestle, and then wrap it into like a t-shirt and then do the hydraulic press and it squeezes it all out. You can get clever with it. When I was living on the mountains, that's the kind of stuff we would have to do. If we wanted to do something and we didn't have it, well, we weren't going to drive, 3 hours to the closest town, to the closest city to get it. So we would just go to the junkyard that was on the property and get a bunch of scraps and stuff and make whatever it is that we needed. And that's like the most satisfying way to do everything. Let's see, Tree Rogi. Just thinking of a greenhouse to get seeds and plants started early instead of buying established plants and to grow potatoes year round. Okay, well, if you're trying to grow potatoes year round, they're still, if it gets below freezing, they're not going to be happy. They're going to die. Not so much the tubers won't, but the green part will. So you'll have to heat it to keep it above freezing, unless you live in a place where it's real mild anyways. But pretty soon I'll be showing you guys my seed starting setup, which is like light years beyond the one last year. I mean, last year I was just making do with what I had. I didn't have any money to be spending on any kind of setup whatsoever. So I was just using old stuff that was already here, that I already had and stuff. But this year, thanks to the channel and thanks to you guys and the donations and stuff, I have a little bit more funds. And so this year you will see a real nice setup. Not nice as in terms of like super expensive, but just really ideal. It's going to start up good stuff. And so you will see that coming up. because having a good seed starting setup is just totally where it's at. And so I want to show you guys a couple of different methods, but it's ideal because you want to create the ideal environment so that your seed starts go in a trajectory like this. So as soon as they sprout, they want to have everything that they need, all the air, the nutrients, the water, the light, everything, so that they can just grow unimpeded until you then harden them off and set them outside. That's what's going to give them the best possible chance, and they're going to grow. They're going to be healthier adult plants because of that. So most people will have things that sprout and then they just kind of, they don't have enough light, or they got too much water, or they got not enough of this or that. And then they'll just stay stagnant for a long time. They won't grow, they won't really die, but they'll just be like unhappy. And then they're like, well, why are my plants sick? I'm like, well, when you started them, how were they? Because it matters from the first moment that they sprout all the way to adulthood. It matters. So it really pays to get that game down, and I'll be showing you guys some ways to do that. Matt says, your show, bro, should know. Nice, thank you, my friend. Harden them off later when you transplant them. That's correct. Just start early. The little one for plants, start them in a little tray indoors early. Yes. Also, I'm going to show you guys how to do the winter sowing. Winter sowing is the most budget friendly way that could possibly be, and you will see why. Now, the only thing is that it only gives you a few weeks of a jump, which is enough for some people. It doesn't give you those 2 months. Like, we're going to start ginger here in just a few weeks, believe it or not. We're going to start ginger in a few weeks under lights. We're going to start onions a few weeks after that, mid-February or something. You'll see. So we can't be doing that with winter sowing. Winter sowing will give us a few weeks, though, of an advantage. So Nita says, hi, please see my comment. Okay. Where is the comment? Let me search for Nita's comment. And let's see here. Well, it's way up here. I must have missed. You guys got to ask the question. If you got an actual burning question, you got to ask it multiple times if I don't see it, because there's just, comments, boom, 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 which I love. So, yeah, sorry, Nita, I can't find it. Ask it again, my friend, and I'll answer it. Now let's see. Earthen built with sandbags. Yes, Denise, I know you're talking about a greenhouse, which definitely, that is good. So that's what you already have. That'd be cool. That's nice. But still, even that is going to, most people have the thought that a greenhouse is going to give them a whole new growing season, but it doesn't really do that because the sun is not intense enough. There's other factors that plants use besides just temperature to know what time of year it is. They use barometric pressure. They use the angle of the sun. They use the tiniest little cues, gravity even. All of this stuff matters to plants. They can tell that it's the middle of winter and that they're not supposed to be growing. Let's see here. Okay. Have you tried winged beans? I got a pack given to me last year, but I have not sprouted them because on this homestead here, it's sort of an urban homestead. I have to be very selective. I got a couple other places that I'm involved with, but they are, we're focusing on growing sustenance only. And so I don't have any place at the moment for like frivolous experiments, because I could tell that winged beans you can't store, they're not like, I'm just growing beans that I can shell and store. I'm growing food. But when I get property, for sure, when I get some land, then definitely I'll be doing any experiment anybody wants, and I'll know. I'll be able to tell. Andrew says, what's the best way to keep plants from getting leggy? Well, typically that if your plants got long shoot and then just tiny little leaves here, they are seeking out the light. Not enough light is number one. Number two is too much moisture. They're drowning. And then number three is not enough CO2, not enough air exchange. But number one is the light. If the plants are getting leggy, you don't have enough light. And most people don't understand. So, and we're going to know this year because I got an 8-pack of those Barina LED grow lights that everyone gets. They're kind of like a purple color or something, and you see everyone's using those now. Well, we're going to see if those are actually worth it, because I really seriously have my doubts, and most people's seed starting stuff that I see is subpar. I'm sorry, but they are. They're just not really, but yet to them that might seem like, oh, see, I got starting my seeds, because they're surviving, but they're not really thriving. Okay. Denise, $10. Thank you, my friend. Namaste. Namaste to you as well, my friend. Can we grow wheatgrass microgreens? Well, that's essentially what we're doing, but still, either way, we're gonna juice the wheatgrass. I do if I have like a sprout salad, then I will I will cut up some of the wheatgrass, but not a lot of it though, because it's very fibrous for the human system. So it's best if we juice. It's best if we juice it. Show us how to make humic acid, please. Okay, I can do that, definitely. That's a great video idea. What is your desire for humic acid, though? I have to ask in the first place. Let's see. This live is why I love YouTube. Thank you very much, Stone Creek. Yeah, I found this is like my favorite part of the whole. These are my favorite things, the lives, because it's just so, the energy is so great, you know, and the amount of things and knowledge and experience, stuff like that we get to talk about. Labs, cheese in the refrigerator. How long will it last? Not very long, my friend. 3-4 days, and then you want to be consuming it. So, like I always say, with the labs, smaller batches more often. That's what you want to do. Everybody wants to make a big, huge batch and then store it for a long time. But no, you want to make smaller batches, but more often. Let's see. Andrew Barnes says length of the day. Yeah, that's exactly what plants will, another cue that plants use. So Anita says, what wheat berries would you recommend? Some store-bought berries don't sprout. Yeah, because they've been there for so long already. So hard red winter wheat berries or soft white winter wheat berries. Those will work really good. Go to the co-op or go to the, or you can go to the links I put in the description that takes you to True Leaf Market. And that's where I get 5-gallon buckets of the hard red winter wheat or the soft white winter wheat berries. Either of those, the hard red or the soft white, will be just fine for the wheatgrass. And so, but go there and you want to get the organic stuff, because the other stuff, I don't know. I don't think they spray it with anything. It's just that it's just old and it's just ill, kind of, it's not vibrant. But if you go to like True Leaf Market or wherever you can get the stuff, then they will sprout really, really good. And you'll sprout them. And I'll show you guys how to do the whole microgreens thing, or the whole wheatgrass thing. That'll be a video probably next week. Once this stuff's all grown up and I can make a video, I'll show you guys everything that you need to know as far as how to sprout them. See, because right about now, you see that little tail that's just coming out? Right about now is when we want to put them into the soil, because if we don't want to wait much longer than this. And also now is when we can make rejuvalac with it, the lactic acid bacteria drink that we can drink. Also now is when we can just straight up eat it. This is just sprouted wheat, one of the most nourishing things that we can eat. Very full of vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. So eat it still living. So just sprinkle it with some strawberries, maybe some raw yogurt if you're into that, or just strawberries, banana, blueberries, a little bit of honey maybe, and then some of this, and you just, they're very chewy, but super good for you. Super delicious. Alberto, $4.99. Thank you very much, my friend. Always nice to get a tip. Let's see. Lady Green Thumb, my first live. Welcome, my friend. Let me know if you have any questions. I will try to get to them. So, let us see here. And have questions done in all caps. That way you can see them. Yeah, that's true. But sometimes I just don't actually, it goes boom, 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 and I don't actually get to see them. Hi there from North Texas. Oh, it's Lady Green Thumb. Doing something I love today. Going to a workshop to learn to sow seeds. I'm an avid gardener, but I know I learned something new. Yes, it's always nice to learn new things, isn't it? It's fantastic. Okay, and Ken says here in Norway they sell special dual potato buckets. Lift up liner bucket and harvest as you go, growing indoors. Okay, yeah, and they do make those kind of things. I have never had when you start disturbing the plant like that. That's you don't really get great harvests with that. So if you're talking about having new potatoes, sure, new potatoes meaning really small with the thin skin and stuff like that. But those are not going to store. But if you want to, yeah, grow them indoors and then eat them as you would like, that's possible. But I feel the much better and more efficient way is to grow a huge amount in the actual growing season under the beautiful conditions of the sun. And that's going to produce nice, nutrient dense, hard potatoes that are going to store all winter. I've got boatload of potatoes downstairs, still rock hard, and I eat them all the time. And I just had some last night. It was so delicious, so delicious. And so that really, because then you have them all winter. So why? So there's no need to like spend the energy and the time and the power consumption and all of that and the money growing them indoors over the winter to eat them when you could grow them outdoors and store them all winter and eat them anyways. So any recommendations on what to do with magnolia cones? I get a bountiful blessings every year and don't know what to do with them. I have to say I'm not familiar with what magnolia cones are. If I saw a picture maybe, but does anyone know what to do? Let Alberto know if you know what to do with the magnolia cones. Gabe says, okay, thanks, Charles. It must be a deficiency then. Deficiency? What? What are we talking about? Let's see here. I'm so sad I have to go, but I will catch everything later. I learned a few things. Thank you. Okay, Stone Creek. We'll see you next time, my friend. Gabe, the plants will only pull what they need. Water well and you should be fine. Okay. Have you created a video on making JWA? Brenda, no, I haven't yet. And I know. But I just haven't been able to. But it's coming really soon because now it's going to be the time, because I'm trying to do a little bit. I have to be a little bit tactical as far as when you release videos and stuff, because the channel has actually grown really well for being not even 1 year old yet. And I attribute a lot of that, well, it's all to you guys, but also I attribute it to being selective and timely with what I'm releasing. Doing videos that are relevant to the moment, to what people are doing at the moment. And so I don't want to, and that's going to be a really good video because so many people want to know. So I want to do it in a relevant time, which is coming up. Like in the next few weeks will be very relevant time. You got plenty of time to make it. So I'm going to make a real good, concise, and you'll be able to make it no problem if you just follow the instructions in the video. So that will be coming. Let's see, best place to get sprouting equipment. Well, it depends what kind of sprouting equipment. Really all you need is, wait, are you talking about sprouting like wheatgrass and alfalfa sprouts, or are you talking about sprouting your seeds like starting seedlings? Because that'd be two very different things. And if you're talking about growing the seedlings, then in the links in the description of my videos, there is the tent and the fans, just the stuff that you need, the heat mat and stuff like that. And I'll be having more stuff. I'll have the complete setup coming here real soon for those of you that don't want to to take out the guesswork. So let's see here. Have your mom is Denise, uncle is Dennis. That makes you da nephew. That's funny. It is. That is definitely what it is. Let's see here. Thank you. Amendments. I think I used too much. Gabe, what do you mean? I think I used too much amendments. Are you growing indoors then? Thank you so much for another awesome sharing with us. Yes, you're welcome, Pam. Let's see. Does anyone have any advice on using dry amendments? Well, which kind? And still, even with the amendments, you need to have the right microbiology, because bone meal and azomite and blood meal and all of that stuff, not one drop of it can be absorbed by the plant. It all has to pass through the digestive system of the microorganisms and the soil food web before it can become available to the plants. So it doesn't matter how much amendments you put in if your soil is not bursting with a diversity and a plethora of microorganisms. So Now that being said, indoors changes things a bit. That's why we don't talk all that much about indoors here, because it's a whole different ballgame. And depending on what plants you're trying to grow. So Rio de Garimpo says, great channel, Rio de Garimpo from Brazil. Hello, my friend. Thank you. I've noticed you from a number of different comments on the channel. Matt says, I like the idea of going to a co-op. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, they got the best stuff in town. Let's see. Blending dark leafy greens with fruit tastes better than wheatgrass. Plenty of chlorophyll, less nausea. Well, that's your experience, Ben. But, and of course, blending leafy greens with the fruit is wonderful as well. But the wheatgrass, there is something that is very different about it. Yes, you will see. And I will show you a way that it's, because I actually don't like the taste of it, but it's not about taste. It's about effect and life force energy. And I will show you guys how to do, I'll show you a way to take it that eliminates all that horrible stuff, so, okay. Alicia says, have questions only in all caps so you don't miss them. But that wasn't a question, was it? So, Mom Computer, good to see you, my friend. Says, please hit the like button. Yes, please do that. Hello, Jessica Jackson. And question. Okay, Bushcraft. What's up, my friend? Fellow YouTuber. Says, after watching the grow potatoes in a garbage bag. Well, we don't call it garbage bag. We call it contractor bag, okay? After watching the grow potatoes in contractor bag video and understanding that potatoes are heavy feeders, would there be a benefit to adding some azomite to the soil? Definitely there can be, yes. Azomite is a wonderful thing to add to the soil. And it's most beneficial, one, for convenience, two, for people that don't have access to leaves, because leaves actually will contain all the minerals that the azomite would, just not as concentrated. So if you're composting with leaves, if you're doing a number of the different things that I showed you guys, burning the leaves and stuff like that, there's not going to be a need for azomite. There really isn't. And azomite, you have to mine it. It's a mineral that you have to mine and ship to the house and all of that stuff. So there's pros and cons of all of it. But if you're late to the game and you don't have leaves and you don't have composting manure and you don't have wood ashes and stuff, yeah, a bag of azomite will work good. Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to do, and I'll show you guys some videos on just store-bought amendments if you need to for your things like potato bags. We'll do the bone meal, the blood meal, the azomite, maybe even, well, we'll do a number of different things. Even a little green sand if we can get it. And so, we can do that as well. I'll show you guys how to do that. Just for the people that are, don't have the time or they're late to the game. But for the most of us, we're making all of our own stuff. And so there's no need to purchase anything from the store. So let me see. I think I've hit up all the old questions. And okay, have you made, okay. And Gabe, what? Let's see here. Best place. Okay, Jessica Jackson, $5. Thank you very much, my friend. And welcome. Alberto, cones from magnolia tree. Yeah, does anyone know what to do with them? He's asking. Rachel, Successful Garden Design says, Nate, what are your thoughts on food combining? Not eating carbs with protein. Congrats on 40,000 subs. Well earned. Thank you very much, my friend. Food combining. Yeah, it's, people can get really, really serious and particular with the food combining. And the primary thing is that we have to eat whole foods in as close to their natural state as possible, free of toxins. The human body is wildly adaptable. And so you can combine certain things that, okay, definitely, dairies with citrus, things like that can be problematic to some people. But I have, as far as you're talking about, let's see here. Oh man, bunch of comments. That's great. But yeah, you're talking about the food combining like proteins with carbs. No, I would not worry about that. And you can eat whatever you want. It's so long as it's natural and it's free of the chemicals and it's free of too much processing. So like last night, I had a thing of potatoes that I grew, of course, and I was making bone broth from the Amish. I got like 40, 50 pounds of bones. And so I was I'm making a video to show you guys. So I was filming it all yesterday and stuff about how to make the bone broth. And then at the end of that, I was left with like 2 pounds of stew meat that was left on the bones. I picked it all off. And so I had this really nice succulent stew meat. And then I just took some of the potatoes, boiled them, and then doused them in raw butter with a little bit of sea salt, and that was it. And I ate the two together, and fantastic. I don't feel full. I don't feel bloated. I feel fantastic and wonderful. But here's the thing. I eat loads of fermented food with that. So I had the potatoes, the beef, the stewed meat, grass-fed, of course, and some of these, which are the fermented tomatoes, which are still delicious. They taste just like they did a week after making them. So they've sat shelf stable. They've just sat in the basement. I got like 10 of these left in the basement, and they are amazing, full of microorganisms, good fiber for the gut. I also did, let me show you what else I had with that same meal. I had, look here, I make the sauerkraut, and this is a New Brunswick cabbage. Guys, if you are into sauerkraut, the New Brunswick it's a large cabbage, but the type of sauerkraut that it makes is delicious. So it is, oh man, the smell of it, it's just so delicious. And so I had it. It might not look that appealing here, but it's this has been in the basement for a month and a half now, and no refrigeration. And I put it right back into the basement, and it is amazing. It just, the depth of flavor is so delicious. And so I will eat a little bit of the potatoes, some of the stew meat, and then a handful of the sauerkraut. And man, it's getting everything I need. So, okay, I missed a couple of the things here. Let me have to make sure that I'm saying, okay, Brenda Henderson, $5. Thank you very much, my friend. Have you created a video on making JWA? No, not yet. It will be coming soon, though. Like I was saying, that it has to be timed right, to help the channel. And so, because I don't want to make the video and then it just, evaporate into background noise like my mushroom videos kind of did, So let's see here. Hey, Nate, have you ever done a bone and vinegar extract to make phosphorus? Yes, definitely. I'll be doing a video on that to show you guys how to do that. You got to char the bones first. It's the best way to do it. And so, yes, I'll make a video on that as well. Hello, all. Came a bit late today. Hello, Sharon. At least you made it. Jessica says, thank you for all you do. You're very welcome, my friend. And Tirza says, I feed magnolia cones to my rabbits as a treat and use WM to start fires in the wood stove. I am thinking about getting some meat rabbits out back. I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but it makes sense. What do you guys think? You can email me if you have advice. If you're currently raising meat rabbits, email me some pictures of your setup. Or mention me if you've got videos on your channel or something, or make a video on your channel showing me your meat rabbit setup and then mention me in it. Tag me in the video so that I can know that it's there, and I will watch it and I will appreciate that. Okay. Cause I've never grown meat rabbits before or raised them, but I've done a lot of things like that. And so I'm very confident I would be able to do it. So Gabe says, I've got clovers as my cover crop and it's stealing nutrients from my soil. Is it a good idea to pull it out and give my peppers my oxygen to their roots, or just keep trimming the clover? How do you think it's stealing nutrients from your soil? I really don't think that that's happening. What type of clover is it? If it's a Dutch white clover, the small type of clover, then it's pumping nutrients into the soil. So, but if it's a real big, like a mammoth clover, and it's just crowding out all the other stuff, then yeah, just keep cutting it back. It's not going to be stealing nutrients though, really. Clovers are some of the best companion plants. So, but if you're going to do like a living mulch, you want the Dutch white clover because it's a low growing clover that is going to be pumping nitrogen into the soil, but it's not going to be growing up too much. So, Shannon says, Young Sung Chao and his wife are doing an American Jadam tour soon. Do you think it's worth attending? Where did you learn your Jadam knowledge? When I was introduced to Jadam was 2016 or 17, I think. It was brand new. I think the book had just been written, and someone gave me the book because I was in Northern California, and that's like the worldwide hub of growing, if you know what I mean. And so everybody was all into it and stuff, and K&F was just getting started, and so we were learning all this stuff, experimenting with all this different stuff. And then once I got a thorough understanding of it, I then implemented all of it, and that's where I came into the real knowledge. That's where the information became knowledge once I put it through the catalyst of experience. Yes. And so years of experimentation and all of that stuff until now I know what works and what doesn't. Now, it would be super cool to see Young Sung Chao and the family. And I know that they're coming. I think tickets are going to be like $300 or $400, but I'm sure it would be worth every penny, if for nothing more than to show support and appreciation for the master himself, you know, the teacher. If I was in a position to go, if it was closer, if there was like one in Chicago, I would do it. I would go, definitely. But they're talking about making some kind of, certification and stuff like that. About, that you can be a certified Jadam teacher and all that stuff. And yeah, but the whole thing is just about doing it. That's really what it's all about. So yeah, I think it's super cool. I think you should go. I think anyone that wants to go should go and should support the cause. And let's see here. Let's see. What are your Taida? $5. Thank you very much, my friend. Great chat as always. Love this Saturday ritual of gathering. Looking forward to the wheatgrass videos and all the rest. Yes, I like the way you put that. The Saturday ritual of gathering. That's what it feels like, isn't it? Let's see here. Oh, a whole bunch of rabbit raising things. That's awesome. I will have to see some of this stuff. I will go back after the video and read the comments because there's just so much at the moment. Okay, Alicia says, I thought you missed the last one. Much love to you, my friend. Not meant as a yell. So sorry. Let's see. Not a problem. And Nate, is mid-30s too cold to start some JMS? Oh yeah, way too cold. And I will be making a video probably this coming week about how to brew the JMS in the cold weather, because we want to. We want to be brewing the JMS in the cold weather so that we can apply it directly, full strength, to the crops. Okay. And Alberto, $5. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate the tip. Gabe says, thank you, Nate. I've been using lots of bacteria I bought from the store. Okay, so you probably mean like EM1 or something like that. Okay, Alberto says, any recommendations for the seed cones that drop from magnolia trees? Thank you for your kindness. Yes, I think maybe we've answered this. Is that right? I personally don't have experience with that. Okay. And so what do you think about using biochar? Biochar is a fantastic thing to use, and I'll show you guys some videos on how to make some biochar and then how to inoculate it properly, okay? So I finally made a live stream. I appreciate the knowledge. Yes, thank you, Bradley. Nita, let's see here. Are you talking about slugs? Oh, is there a... okay, I have a slug problem. How to address that problem? I hand pick them. Yeah, I got into some trouble last time I made the slug video. People were outraged, but I think that was because I had like a public execution. I made like a demonstration, because to me, it's just a fact of nature. You have to take care of your crops, and if I have to eliminate something in order to have a harvest, then I'm going to do it, because it's all about feeding yourself. So if I have to do something that's going to kill the slugs, I will do it. But as a last resort, after other measures have already been put in place. But some years, man, and I know some people that their slugs are so horrible that you won't even get a harvest. A number of years ago, my slugs were so bad that that they would just wipe out in one night the whole row of seedlings, and just totally unacceptable. And so, yes, I'll be making a slug video without the demonstration, though. You just have to take my word that it works. Okay. Could you please make a video about turmeric, please? Or is it the same as ginger? Thank you. It's very similar to ginger, yes. But we will also sprout some turmeric, yes, definitely. Gabe says, yes, EM1 and lots of trichoderma products. Okay, okay. And Tree, does your wife have a YouTube channel? I don't have a wife. So looking forward to making the JMS in winter. Thank you. Yes, Sharon, you're very welcome. And thanks, Nate. I love my meat and potatoes. I think you're right. Fermented foods are the key to combining them. Absolutely, man. Because we have to think about what the ancestors would eat. And when I say ancestors, I mean for thousands of years. And we say, oh, agriculture is 12,000 years, but we don't really know any of that. It just makes perfect sense that humans have been growing things like potatoes and tubers. Tubers are as old as it gets. You find those wild still. And so, yes, the fermented foods, though, is definitely the way to go because you can just taste the life force in them, the life in them. Also, besides fermented, I smoke the peppers. These are Hungarian paprikas that I smoked with a little bit of garlic and a little bit of onions. Oh man, oh, the smell of summer, guys. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Here. Man, it just smells like a campfire mixed with just sweet peppers mixed with, it's just like the best of the best. Oh my goodness. And so this is like my third one of these. So I will take this and crush it up, blend it up as needed. I'll do a small thing like this much. Well, actually, here's what I do. I put it into this. So see, here's some smoked peppers. These are smoked poblanos, though. A little bit darker, a little bit more intensely fire flavored. These are different. These are Hungarian paprikas. But see, then I'll blend them up. But only the amount I'm going to use for like a month because they maintain their flavor and their smell way better in the whole state than in the blended state. Once you blend them up, you've got about a month before they start losing flavor and intensity and stuff. Same with the cayennes. So when I need a cayenne, I don't even use the powder. I just take one of these, crumble it up, put it in the mortar pestle, and put it in there. And these last, all winter long with the seeds and everything. And those are just dried. Also, I use the chives. These are chives that I just dehydrate. And they're not as intense as they are in the springtime, of course, but I definitely use them for like potatoes and stuff. Also rosemary, I dry the rosemary, I dry the oregano, and lasts all winter long. I dry the thyme, which I'm loving the thyme lately. And also savory, all this other stuff. So those are things that you want to be doing. Okay. Ms. P says, I think by wife they meant your friend Jenny with the lovely smile. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. She doesn't have a YouTube yet. Actually, she might, but she's not like real active on it yet. But she likes to do things like tarot readings. She will do tarot reading for you. She's very good at it. Definitely. And so she has Instagrams. And so I'll have to ask her what her social media is so I can tell you guys if you want to check any of that out. Ken says, Vikings did plant wheat all the way up here north 1,000 years ago as it was warmer here back then. We still can find wild, big corned wheat by the coastline. That's pretty cool. And I know you're in Norway, so you know. I looked up that place that you're in on Google Earth and looks pretty awesome, man. Looks pretty awesome. I would love to experience a place like that, And part of me wonders if that's the kind of ideal place to get some land, But everything would be so foreign to me. It has to be in America, really, because I'm American, and so I know all the rules and the culture and all of that stuff. If I was to get someplace in some other country, it's like, man, now you got to learn the whole new way of life. And there's just things you can't learn, even in a lifetime, Let's see here. And warning. Now you know you have to make a video on roasting peppers. Yes, that is actually, I planned on it this year. I tried to, but just, got overwhelmed. But definitely I will do that. But you have to grow the right kind. So the Hungarian paprikas, the right kind will get a sweetness to it after you roast it. So when you just take these Hungarian paprikas, and you eat them raw, or you saute them in something and you eat them, they're okay. They're not bad. But when you do this technique to them, it unlocks the flavor there, and it absorbs all the flavor of the campfire, the smoke, the oak. I use oak when I smoke them. And then it becomes a whole different animal altogether. So, land is still cheap in Hungary, is that right? I went to Budapest. It was awesome, man. It was a really good time. I went to some really good hot baths in Budapest. Also went to some caving systems for the first time ever, which was crazy. If you want to see, I made a video on my other channel, The Saga of Nate Muri, about my experience in the caves. It was wild. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go to that channel. Gabe says, that's awesome. They do tarot card readings. I'd love to get a reading done. Oh man, definitely. I'll give you guys her information next time. I'll ask her. She would get a kick out of that. Let's see. Paul says, what pepper is typically used for powdered paprika? Well, it's actually called the Hungarian paprika, or Hungarian. It's like a banana pepper. Hungarian hot wax pepper is similar to it. Paprika really just means peppers, but the type that is used is the Hungarian hot wax pepper, basically. And it's like a banana pepper, but when the banana peppers are eaten when they're green. But if you allow it to go red, it will turn yellow and then orange and then deep dark red like this. And that's when they're ready, is when they almost start to get a little bit soft. You have to let them go all the way so that their flavor develops. And then we slice them open, take the seeds out, and then roast them, smoke them for like 10 hours. It's so good. And then they just maintain when I open that thing, the whole house is full of this delicious summertime barbecue smell. So, okay, guys, we're coming to a close here pretty soon. It's been an hour and a half. My voice is starting to get a little rough. Jeremy says, thanks for sharing the knowledge, Nate. You are helping empower us all. That is awesome, my friend. I am very glad you feel that way. So do I. And so, let's see. I had a question about onions. When given enough sunlight for their specific variety, will they be triggered to bulb even when seedlings? Not typically. So when we start onion seedlings indoors, we are doing 16-8. So for indoor seed starting, we do 16 hours of sunlight, 8 hours of darkness, and we don't move it. And that is not going to trigger them to bulb. There's something about it. They use other factors to know. And so long day onions, they will pretty much, even if long day onions, for example, if you started some in June and they were just real tiny and you put them out, they would pretty much start to bulb up in the middle of July, in July, like they do. And actually, they start to bulb right after the solstice. So, and the long day ones will grow vegetative growth as the days are getting longer. And then once the days start getting shorter after the solstice, that's what triggers them to stop the vegetative growth and start the bulbing. And so then they will swell up really quick in just a couple of weeks. And by mid-July, you harvest them all. Yeah. Short day onions are opposite. So, and you plant those over the winter. So, okay, my friends. Oh yeah, see, this guy says, Hungarian peppers are the best, hundreds of different ones. Yeah, that's what I pretty much figured, is that there's so many different ones. Okay, my friends, well, I will see you in the comments section of the videos, and everybody have a really good week. And the seed starting is coming, and the wheatgrass videos will be coming. So hopefully you guys are already doing the sprouting in the jars, and you're consuming some of that stuff. And definitely, Ken says, you are welcome to come here visiting. Got free room for you at my little farm. That may be a possibility at some time. That might get the wheels turning. That could be, that would be really cool. So, okay, guys, thanks for a good time, and I will see you next week.